Don't ever let somebody tell you you can't do something. You gotta dream. You gotta protect it. You want something, go get it. Period.
What's up, guys? Jay here with the For the Love podcast, episode 12. I have a guest here that I've actually never met. This is my first time meeting him, and this is what this is all about. I told you guys I want people to reach out to me. I want people to come on the show that I've never met so we can connect, and Ian did this. Ian Cunningham, what's up?
How are you, Jay? Good to meet you.
Nice, man. Yeah, I'm very excited because you're the first person to really reach out to me when I said, anybody that wants to come on, come on.
Yeah, within seconds.
Yeah, man. I was very happy about that because I was like, all right, I just want some bites. Come on, people. Like, stop being afraid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
enter the realm.
Yes, please. So you did that. I'm very happy for that. Thank you. So tell me a little bit about yourself. How old are you?
I'm 35. I just turned 35 in February. I'm older than the other two you just had on. And I thought I'd bring a little class to the podcast by not wearing a ramen noodles shirt.
Yes. You actually have the New Haven Nighthawks, which is the old hockey team here, and now that's a beer now?
Yeah, so my buddy bought the rights to the logo, Jeff Bryan, and he has Nighthawk Brewing out of East Haven, the Barracks over there, formerly called Overshores.
Okay, yeah, I know.
And he's got a couple two-tree brews. He's got an IPA. I feel bad. I haven't even tried it because I'm not an IPA guy.
I'm really not either. They're a little too
bougie.
Yeah, bougie and bitter to me. A lot of them are bitter. I like smoother type beers.
I like Bud Light is what I like.
Okay, yeah. Well, very easy.
I like a lot of beers, but the thing about the IPA, do you know what Indian Pale Ale means? Like why it's called that?
No.
It's called that because when the British Army was taking over India or colonizing India, they would send beer over the Indian Ocean, and the beer would have no buzz. This is back when it would take months and months via ship. Okay. So the beer, if you ever had old beer, you know it has a certain taste.
Yeah.
Well, it loses all its alcohol content. So who's gonna want to I'm gonna colonize this place if I'm not drunk?
Yeah.
So they started putting more hops into it and not filtering it as much, and would send it over there, Indian Pale Ale, over the Indian Ocean. And then someone said, "Wow, this is actually cheaper to make. It's stronger, so we can charge more money for it." So that's why. It tastes bitter. That's why it tastes like garbage. You know what I'm saying?
Now, how long ago was that they did that?
I can't tell you, but whenever they were colonizing India, that's when that went on. So you can Google that, folks. Go on Wikipedia. When did England colonize India?
Yeah, that's pretty long. Okay, so that's interesting. All right. There's a lot of local breweries popping up. That's so
trendy
popular.
Thing to do.
Yeah, very trendy. I don't really go to a lot of breweries, really. You go to a lot of them?
Well, I was doing comedy shows at Overshores, and then they turned into the Barracks, beer acts, like Barracks, but beer acts, little play on words that they did over there. And that's over on, I think it's on over, I don't even know.
That's in East Haven, kind of off of where the North High Street Bridge is. You take that left and you go down there. I know exactly where that is. Yep. It's I think it's Bradley Street down near that area. I
was doing comedy shows there, and we did this WWE style roast battle. So
really?
Comedians would battle other comedians. I built a wrestling ring, and I put my boy's logo on it and stuff.
Yeah.
We built out of wood, and I made ropes, and it was a cool little stage that we built.
That's awesome.
So the comedians could battle each other. I mean, we had a DJ everyone had a theme song, and it was really cool. Yeah. So they were cool to let us do whatever the heck we wanted.
That's great. Yeah, when you have freedom like that.
Yeah.
You need that. If you have a creative mind, that's very important to put on something that's good for the people.
Yeah, especially in East Haven where everyone loves wrestling. I thought
True.
You mix comedy with wrestling, and I started what do you call an angle with a random comedian who didn't even watch wrestling, but he's all right, I'm good friends with the guy. His name is Dave Sheehan, and I did a rap song. You know how John Cena, when he first came on, he was rap battling guys?
Yeah.
I made a video to it too, and I'm rapping about how he's not going to beat me in this roast battle. And people who knew I was friends with him were like, "Oh my God, you and Dave don't like each other?" So that's how I knew I got him.
Yeah.
That's how I knew I understand wrestling angles. I actually had people thinking that me and Dave were beefing.
So you were playing more as a
heel.
Yeah, but as a wrestling personality, kind of.
Right.
But that's interesting because you were mixing your comedy into it as well.
Yes.
That's
Throwing
great.
insults and
You don't see that often.
right.
Where did that idea come from?
Well, the idea came from this guy Brian Barganier, who's big time in Connecticut comedy, almost as long as Vinny's been doing comedy, maybe just as long. He had something in Meriden. It was a roast battle, be one-on-one, and it would have like brackets, like 32 guys and girls,
Like a March Madness type thing.
right? So I would throw an insult, almost like 8 Mile. So I insult you, you insult me, whatever, and then the crowd responds. And I went to one of those, and actually participated in one of them, won a round, and I said, wow, a lot of potential here. You just need to jazz it up. You know what I mean?
Right.
It was kind of like this shady dive bar.
Yeah.
And I was like, we bring this to East Haven. Let's like start doing promos. And my promo videos get thousands and thousands of views.
Yeah.
You know, I would like dress up and just like do like a straight up Hulk Hogan type of like, you know what I mean? Like a promo. Like, let me tell you something, Dave Sheehan. The Dave Sheehan's like 130 pounds soaking wet. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I'm going to body slam you with a, you know, it was just stupid. But people really kind of caught on. And we had we did one once a month. I don't know, was it last year or the year before, for like 3 months straight, and they were a big hit. And then we just kind of I had a falling out with Brian a little bit.
Gotcha.
It wasn't even a falling out like, hey, we're having a falling out. He just was upset with the way I handled it. I had to pay him $100 to he was like booking the comics, and I was in charge of the promotion. I was in charge of the venue. I was in charge of paying him, and I was like, okay, like I got to get this other guy. There's like 4 doors at this place, and all Brian's comedian friends never paid. And I was like, I have my friends that come in. Like we had 40, 50 people in the first couple. Yeah. And we're only doing $5 to get in. I built a freaking wrestling ring.
So you were disappointed?
I was disappointed because like I really loved what I was doing. I thought it was great. But I mean, at $5 a pop, like I'm busting my ass to get this kid paid because I wanted to pay him what he got at Scotty O'Boyle's. Yeah. And Scotty O'Boyle's, they were doing a free show, so he was getting a bar deal. The bar was paying him $100 just to do the show.
Where's that?
Scotty O'Boyle's is in Meriden.
Okay. It's
like right in the middle of like a ghetto residential neighborhood.
Okay.
So like it doesn't even look like a bar. It just looks like you know.
So you basically took this thing, you put a lot of your own effort and passion into it.
Yeah.
And you made it something. A lot of time. So and the other thing is, in reality, you know your worth. You're like, I know what this thing's worth.
$15 a pop. You know, I was doing these videos, these rap battle videos, and have you seen my videos?
I have. Yes.
My video editing skills are top notch now. Like, so I'm putting it, and I like to believe that my promos were pretty damn good too. Yeah. So then all his friends are coming in, and so I had asked a friend of mine, Todd Cooper, hey, can you do the door for me? Because I can only have, like my girlfriend was doing the door a little bit, but there was multiple entrances. So like I was like, can you hang out here? I'll give you 5 minutes stage time to tell some jokes before the thing starts. Mm-hmm. That was just me kind of like rolling with the punches, as they call it in the business. I've been running promotions since I was the head promoter in Anna Liffey's. So I've booked I started they had a room upstairs. I remember
them they used to do that stuff. Did they get away with it after like a while they stopped doing it or something?
So this is what happened in Anna Liffey's. When Anna Liffey's opened in '97, they were the only Irish pub in town. And there was like 3 or 4 guys. There's Patrick Mansfield, this guy Christie, who opened Christie's.
Okay, yeah.
So a bunch of those guys all hung out together. Shane Carty, who now owns Trinity Bar. Yeah. So all these guys, and they're all in Anna Liffey's. And then when Christie's open, and then O'Toole's open, and then the Playwright and Hamden open. So
a lot of competition.
Right. So the upstairs went from being packed every Friday and Saturday night to not being packed anymore. Yeah. When I was doing fundraisers, which I started at the Rib House in East Haven.
Okay, yeah.
Because my buddy Joe Zullo was a bartender there on Sundays. Mm-hmm. And so I was just 21 and needed a place to drink and get pissed at the Jets losing. So I would go to the Rib House.
Yeah, yeah.
So next thing you know, I'm 21. Even I had friends at 21. You know what I mean? I had a lot of friends.
Yeah.
And so Sundays were a big deal. And my brother was in a band that was touring with like Fall Out Boy and Less Than Jake and all these cool emo bands.
Yeah, I used to listen to all of them. They were great back in the day.
Yeah, my brother's band, These Green Eyes. I don't know if you remember those guys.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome, dude.
Yeah, so my brother's the lead singer of this band, and I'm like, okay, why don't I start a fundraiser? I have a brother who's got Asperger's. So I said, let's do a show for around Christmas time, and we'll give all the money to Sarah, the place out of Guilford.
Yeah, that's nice.
And so I just went around all the places, and I was getting like gift certificates, and I raffled them off, and then obviously we had a door at $10 a pop probably, and my brother's band played. These Green Eyes was playing at the Rib House in East Haven. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
all
awesome.
These mafia guys, like Tony Soprano sitting over there, and then here's like some emo band. Like,
yeah. That's funny. Now, how did it go?
Went great.
Yeah.
We did it 1 year. I raised $850. I thought it was such a big deal. I was like so pumped up, and then Joe Zulo's father, Al, gave me a check for $150 to make it an even $1,000 that I donated to Sarah.
Wow, that's great.
The next year, I think it just was it 1 year or 2 years? It was so ridiculous. And the old Rib House is bigger than the new Rib House, but we had both rooms so packed that couldn't do it anymore. So my friend Ryan Gahuli, who's a firefighter in Meriden now, but his father's was a big time firefighter in New Haven. Mm-hmm. He wanted to get involved, and he was started bartending at Anna Liffey's. This is around 2010. Okay, so this is kind of key to where everything kind of comes into play with my story.
Oh yeah.
But he said, why don't you do this thing at Anna Liffey's? And I said, sure, yeah, I'll do it in Anna Liffey's.
Now, not to cut you off, but have you done comedy yet at this point?
No.
Okay, so this is great because now we're gonna lead into this.
Yeah. It all kind of comes together here because what happens is I buy Anna, say, yeah, I'll do it in Liffey's. It's a bigger venue now. It's like, I don't even know, because you got 2 rooms, upstairs and downstairs, mm-hmm. both bigger than the Rib House. Both rooms are bigger than the Rib House. Mm-hmm. So now I got to pack the Anna Liffey's and whatever. And I would do it every December 23rd. So my girlfriend at the time, Chelsea, and we went to New York because I wanted to get a football signed by Boomer Esiason. And he was on the WFAN, the Boomer and Carton show.
Yeah.
It was my favorite radio show. My dream growing up was to do talk radio. Howard Stern. And if not Howard Stern, I wanted to be a sports talk radio guy.
Right.
So I was into Al Dukes. He would do these parody songs about the Mets, or he would do the songs about the Jets. And I'm a Mets, Nets, Jets, and I have Tourette's. And I could go, hey, I played for the Vietnam Vets. And Memorgwin down the street. I actually did play for the Vietnam Vets. I don't have Tourette's. That's the one lie. But, so I get I just have this vision on the way there. I loved Al Dukes, which is the producer of this show. Number 1 morning show regionally in the whole country was the Boomer and Carton show at the time.
Yeah.
So I wanted to impress the producer, Al Dukes, who would write parody songs and sing them. So I wrote a song called Missing You, Jose Reyes. That song that Biggie did when...
Yeah.
That Puff Daddy did when Biggie died.
Yeah.
I'll be missing
112 or something like that, I think was in it or something like that.
Faith Hill.
Faith
and I think 112, they might sing on the chorus.
Missing You. Great song, by the way.
So I write a Missing You song because Jose Reyes had just left the Mets to go to... he had just pulled a LeBron James that had moved to Miami.
Yeah.
So I write this song, and I get in the studio. Al Dukes lets me go in there. I'm with my buddy Ryan Gahuli, and I show him this thing. He doesn't care. You know what I mean? He's busy. He's got a show to run. But I do remember, I was making everybody laugh in the studio. I was like, okay. I got to meet Joe Benigno, John Mink, all these cool people from the legendary WFAN.
Yeah, that's great.
And so I was like, okay, Al Dukes doesn't care about my song, my handwritten song. I went to my buddy Tim Capizone, who he produced songs for Nick Frediani.
Yep. Okay.
The song that Nick Frediani sang on America's Got Talent before he went on American Idol.
Oh, okay.
The song Coming Your Way, which has millions and millions and millions of views on YouTube. That was my buddy Tim Capizone's song. He sang it.
Oh, wow.
He's the one who wrote that song. And so Tim Capizone was writing songs at the time. He wrote songs for Big Sean, for Mike Posner, all these cool hip-hop artists.
He's from around here?
He is from Guilford, Connecticut.
Wow.
He lives in New Haven now. I mean,
Wow.
he was signed to Sony Records when he was in an emo band at the same time as my brother called Modern Hearts Break Faster. It's basically his band, but like, do you know that Nick Frediani's in a band now? They're called Beach Avenue. They've been Beach Avenue for a while.
Yes.
And everyone in that band, the drummer Zippy.
Yeah. I used
Nick,
to work with Zippy
Zippy.
actually at Subway. And like when I was in high school.
Come on, don't start
I
with
swear
me.
to God, dude.
Which Subway?
Zippy, Kevin Schrader, all those dudes.
I know all the. All right, which Subway?
It was next to the movie theater over there in North Haven.
Zippy worked at Subway.
Yeah.
Did he do any work?
Here and there, I guess.
Look at that Doors
Yeah,
tattoo.
here and there. Oh yeah, man. I
I'm
got
a
a new
huge
one, so
Doors fan.
I apologize, but it's itchy. You know, do you have
No,
tattoos?
it's fine. I got to see Jim Morrison. Just,
Do you have tattoos?
I got freckles. That's from the
Oh,
sun.
yeah,
I
yeah.
count those. I got 25,000 tattoos.
That's great. Yeah. So
I worked at Subway in Guilford.
Oh wow.
That's where I met Tim Capizone.
What a small world. Weird.
I was 15 years old. My mother was the manager. I started working there. I was too busy doing Boxman and creating like all these like things. I was doing comedy night. That's funny. I was doing comedy night on Sundays with this guy Bill Bowmanut, and the boss was never there on Sundays, so we would just do corny jokes. So it's like if somebody wanted mayonnaise, we'd be like, "Well, you sure you don't want womanaise?" Just corny dad jokes the whole time, you know. Like they'd be like, "Oh, can I get a BMT and a spicy Italian?" I'd be like, "I'm as Irish as it gets, sweetheart." You know what I mean? Just corny jokes like that. But that's how I met this guy Tim.
That's great.
So I went to Tim that night after going to WFAN Studios, and I said, "Tim, we got to do this song." Tim says, "Sure." I mean, this is like a world-class producer. He just happens to be my best friend.
Yeah, it's great.
So I do this song and I rap it. I do the impression of Puff Daddy and the whole thing. And I sent it to Al Dukes that night.
Yeah.
By Monday morning, oh wait, that was Friday. Then I went to the studio. So by Monday morning, Al Dukes had this song in his email, and he plays it on WFAN radio that Monday.
Wow.
And
Doesn't tell you at all. You don't know it's coming.
don't even know, but I just happened to like watch. They were on MSG. They would have the Boomer and Carton show was 660 WFAN, but they were also on TV, the Yes Network.
Okay, yeah.
So you can watch them in the morning on the Yes Network. And I was watching the Yes Network at work that day, and they start playing my song.
Wow.
And Boomer, they're like, "Oh, we got to take this. We love this song." They start like singing it and talking about it being on Spin Class. Do you know who the first person who tweeted at me was Nick Frediani? He said, "Wow, dude, I just heard your song on the radio. That's so cool."
Oh man,
Yeah.
dude. Let me ask you this: how the fuck did you feel right there?
Well,
How'd you feel?
I felt when they played my song on the radio, man, I had goosebumps.
Yeah.
I had tears. I'm young, kind of. I'm like trying to think. So that was 10 years ago. I'm 24, 25 years old.
That's
I was
great.
24 because it was before the new year had started. So I was like, holy crap. Like, I always knew I could do this.
Yeah.
But when your first song is that big, you just think it's going to be easy. Because you think, okay, I'll just keep writing songs because
Yeah.
the writing part's the easy part.
Right.
And it's just not what happened. I didn't know how to edit video at the time.
Okay.
So the song is going up. Hundreds, thousands of downloads are happening on the WFAN website.
Wow.
A guy reaches out to me, Bob Splits. He works for the Yahoo Sports. He puts the song on YouTube, and it's just a picture of Jose Reyes. There's no video.
Yeah.
And it gets about 11,000 views on there and a ton of comments.
Right.
And it's still to this day, like my friends who are Met fans still talk about that song. Missing You, Jose Reyes. They loved
That's
it.
great. Yeah.
And so that's how I started doing parody songs.
Yeah. Now, what comes after that one?
So the same year, the Giants this is when the second run for the Giants are happening here, but no one really knows because they're having some issues. Hakeem Nicks keeps dropping footballs. Rex Ryan I'm a Jets fan. The Jets have a good team, you know what I mean? And the Jets and Giants are set to play each other on Christmas Eve that year. I want to say 2011, 2010. One of those, it's hard because the football season overlaps the year. So I don't know the year, but this guy, also he's from Guilford. Neil Keefe has a podcast and a pretty good Twitter account, and he's a big Yankee fan. He's a big Giants fan, and he's from Guilford too, so he knows Tim. He says, Ian, can you write a song, parody song for the Super Bowl this year? Was it okay? No, I lied. So that's the third song, the Super Bowl song.
Okay, we'll get to it.
When the Jets and the Giants are going to play on Christmas Eve, I say I got to do. Oh, Al Dukes puts something out on Facebook. He says, "Hey, I need some ideas to do. He's going to do a Christmas version of Jets Giants."
Okay.
And so I sent Al an email because I'm like on the in, and I sent him my song, and he's like, "Ian, this is great, but I want to do my own song." He says, "But if you get it recorded, I'll play it." So Tim's out of town. He's in Florida. I hit up Matty Morrow, who was a guitar player in These Green Eyes. He's got a studio.
Yep.
And so we get it done, and my brother sings on it. And it was called Rockin' MetLife. So it was to Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree.
Yep.
Not that one. And so it was like really cute. It was really well done. And I was so proud of it. And we send it to Al, and he never plays the song. And then so he plays his song, which was all my good punchlines from my song was in his song.
No.
Yeah, what was his name? Sanchez got ran over by Pierre Paul. Like, Grandma got ran over by reindeer. So he took all my good lines. I'm like waiting for it to play, and it never plays.
So do you consider that stealing?
Yes, I do. It's
what
not
I'm
the
saying?
first time. Yeah, I went through it. I had a big spout with depression over this type of thing.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, in my early years of doing
Probably
parody
because
songs.
you don't really know how to handle, like, what to do about it.
I trust people, man, I have so many great ideas, and John Seville from Country 92.5 stole a commercial I did a commercial for Connecticut School of Broadcasting. It was just a project we had to do, and it's like a 10-second radio ad where it's I have a music bed and like some funny clips from a movie or whatever, and like a voiceover. So I do this thing, and it's the John Kennedy saying, "Ask not what your country can do for you," and I would stopped it at "Ask not what," and the name of the radio station for Connecticut School of Broadcasting was All Noise Radio. So the students can like have their own shows on All Noise Radio. That's cool, yeah. It's an internet radio station. Cool. So we had to make, I don't remember what they're called. There are certain 10-second commercials.
Yeah.
And mine was, "Ask not what All Noise Radio could do for you. Ask what allnoiseradio.com can do for your country." And then I did a Rodney Dangerfield, "That's the story of my life, no respect, powered by the Connecticut School of Broadcasting." And I had the Thunderstruck guitar in the background from AC/DC. You know that?
Yeah.
And it was so intense, man. And I put that on my SoundCloud. And I was getting hundreds of downloads from it. And I was just like, Jesus, just like a school project.
Yeah.
When I tell you, dude, not a week later, I'm in the car with Mike Conroy. He's listening to 92.5. And I hear the same exact ad to like, "She thinks my tractor's sexy" in the background. But it's like, "Ask not what 92.5 could do for you." I swear to God, the same exact commercial.
Oh my God.
I was like, man, I'm not going to join your pyramid scheme now.
That shit's wild.
That happened to me a lot. But that Super Bowl year, the Giants make their run, and this kid Neil Keefe says, "Ian, make a Super Bowl song." This is when that's when I started doing Super Bowl songs. I was going to, I'll start doing Super Bowl songs, and I did that Mace song, "Feel So Good." Bad boy.
Great song.
And they played the Patriots that year. And so I did, Tom Brady, how do you throw the ball so good? How do you throw the ball so good? And that was another Tim Capizone production. He produced that song and sang the chorus on it.
Oh, wow.
And that was really the start. So I basically said, okay, well, I don't need WFAN to put my songs out. I'll find a way to do it.
Right. Okay. So how did you? Because that's the biggest thing. Like, you could be the best talent in the world, if you don't know how to market yourself or get yourself out there, it's a struggle. So how does that come about?
The weirdest thing happened. I wouldn't call it weird, but it all connects. So around that time, I got into a car accident and had a concussion and whatever. So this ends up being the first of 4 car accidents that are not my fault in the last nine years, right? Yeah. When I get the lawsuit money from that, that's when I decided to go to Connecticut School of Broadcasting. Okay. I put that money, that I got $11,000, and I put like 8 of it into going to Connecticut School of Broadcasting so I can pursue my dream of radio and whatever.
That's great.
And so I think I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna be such a natural at radio, and that's gonna be my thing and whatever. And they introduced this thing called video to me, and I'm like, that's not me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
so they taught that too. It's not just radio.
Yeah. So it's video, and so they force you to do it.
That's good.
So I had to learn how to do a camera. I had to learn how to like put video onto a computer, and I had to learn how to edit it. And you want to talk about like, I don't know about you if you have a temper or not. Like, I have like a bad temper, and I like a lot of guys have a bad temper, but like I have this like inner frustration in me, like when it comes to certain things that I can't do. And like cell phones get thrown into Lake Saltonstall, you know, if it doesn't work right.
Yeah.
So that was me, and I really struggled with video editing.
It was hard.
It was really tough, man. But I said, you know what? Like I'm gonna do this. Yeah. And I started learning how to edit video, and that changed my life, and I didn't really know it at the time.
Damn.
Because, you know, this parody song started going into the toilet because I couldn't get the radio stations to play it. So when I thought I had this idea for Good Job Peyton Manning to Good Vibrations from the Beach Boys. Okay. And it was great, and Tim produced it and sang on it, and Tim really sounds like Bryan Adams on it. And I mean, I love the Beach Boys, man.
Yeah.
People, this is a #1 hit in 1966. Like, nobody cared, you know. Yeah. But that's when I decided. I said I got like 50 views on SoundCloud. Yeah. Let me make a video for it, and I made this horrible video. But I went from 30 views to 805 views.
Okay, wow.
And to me, that was a big deal.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that kind of planted the seed. But that's where, like, kind of depression was going on around that time, 2013, 2014.
What caused that?
So I get into another car accident in 2014. Yeah. And I stopped on the highway, and a girl, not paying attention, hits me full speed. Jeez. And I get that bad whiplash. Oof. And I had post-concussion syndrome for 2.5 years.
What is that exactly?
Post-concussion syndrome, if you look up the symptoms for post-concussion syndrome, they're right in line with post-traumatic stress disorder.
Wow, okay.
So I'm already kind of like an emotional guy. I wear my heart on my sleeve, so yes. I laugh a lot, I cry a lot, I yell a lot, I get sad a lot. Yeah. All these are all things that happen. And when I got into this car accident, it really messed up my back, and I was working full time. First time in my life I'd saved $10,000. I'm doing construction. I'm really happy. I'm in great shape, and this car accident happens, and all of a sudden I can't work for a few weeks. All of a sudden I can't work 60, 70-hour weeks. I'm working 30-hour weeks. Like, I just physically couldn't do it. Around this time, I start doing a variety show at Anna Liffey's, okay. And it's like comedy based. But at the time, I still know I'm going to do stand-up comedy. But I'm booking comedy, and I'm writing comedy skits and all this stuff. Mm-hmm. I start overrunning myself. My brain starts. I can't sleep. Yeah, I start losing my mind. You know what I mean? A little bit. And I'm sure the drinking didn't help. I was drinking a lot. Okay. Just being out and doing these things. And
now, what do you think caused that feeling? Obviously, was it pain or was it?
So at the time, I didn't know. Yeah,
that's the worst. I think when you don't know, you're constantly wondering.
Right.
It doesn't go away. Right. You just ask yourself all the time, like you know something's going on, but you don't know what.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
Yeah. And so I've dealt with it. I've dealt with back pain and having issues. I've always had issues sleeping. Always. Yeah. And it's because my mind's always going. So I always had anxiety. And the only thing that ever helped me sleep in the past, at this point in my life, the only thing I knew that helped was Ativan. Yeah. That quick acting anxiety relief would just knock me out. Because my brain would shut off and I would shut off.
Yeah. Side effects to those things, though.
Yeah.
So good.
Well, I mean, that's if you get hooked, and I never had an addictive personality.
That's great. So it didn't cause you any problem.
No, I've never even smoked a cigarette
That's
before.
good. That's what I want to hear then.
Yeah. What I realized was I just can't take them every night because then you need, instead of one, you need two.
Yes.
So what I would do is I would do 1, 2, and then I would go 2 or 3 nights. Usually I would sleep the first night. The second night I would sleep okay, and then by the third night I wouldn't sleep, and then on the next night I would take another one. So I got into a rhythm like that. Yeah. Whereas like, all right, 2 out of 5 nights is better than none.
Yeah.
So I'm working full time. I'm not sleeping. I'm doing this thing at night. I'm literally doing this thing every Wednesday night at Anna Liffey's. It's a big deal.
Yep.
And like I have a live band that I wrote a song, a jingle. Like so, it's the Jess and Ian show. One's a chick and one's a bro. Like so, it's like this really corny song I wrote.
Yeah.
And so like I want it to be like a Tonight Show. So like kind of like what you're doing, you're interviewing me.
Yeah.
I want to interview people, but in a live bar atmosphere. I wanted to have
a great idea.
Yeah, a live band. I wanted to have. So I had comedians that helped me doing skits. Then I would Vinny would come and do comedy, and then other comedians would hey, we want to be on the show. So this should be only an hour show. I turn it into this 3-hour thing every Wednesday.
Yeah,
and I just. I'd be writing skits all week, making videos all week to show on a projector screen, interviews downtown, like comedic ones, putting this all together. And then I just snap one day and just freak out, and that was something was wrong, something was wrong, and I just thought that not sleeping was making me go insane. I thought I wasn't sleeping because of the back pain.
Yeah.
And I started punching the dashboard of my boss's truck. And my boss is so old school Sicilian. He doesn't believe in anything. You know what I mean? He doesn't even wear masks when he's ripping asbestos up. But he was like, when he told me I needed help, that's when I knew I really did need help because this isn't, something's not right.
And to be honest, that's great, man. Because number one, you're a man, and to be a real man, you have to be in touch with yourself. You have to be able to say those things to yourself and realize when you need to do that. And too many men are out there and they go their whole lives knowing that they feel a certain way, that they're unhappy, whatever. They hold it all in, and guess what happens? Their life falls apart. Mm-hmm. They drink themselves to death.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're terrible to other people. Can't go down that road. So it's okay to understand yourself. Just that's what you need to do. That's what life is all about. So you end up figuring that out. You understand that you need to do this.
I understand,
but that's
that I
just
need help.
That's just the beginning.
Just the beginning.
So what happens?
So I go to it's Long Wharf because I was arrested, not for stealing wine or for whatever Vinny got. It was
yeah, all these comedians getting arrested. What the hell? Damn, is that like a prerequisite or something?
No, probably just the comedians you're talking to.
Yeah.
But no, I'd been arrested for something stupid like a girlfriend. My girlfriend Chelsea, she was my best friend for like 10 years. We dated, and we were really just glorified best friends forever. And so like towards the end of our relationship, like it was kind of just going downhill. And I'm in Guilford, and I was drinking at the Guilford Mooring, and she's like yapping about this. I'm like, well, you're at Virginia talking to so-and-so and blah, 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 blah. And I say, you know what? I'm having a great day. You pick me up at the bar on football Sunday so that we can go get ice cream. And here we are arguing. I just want to go back to the bar.
Yeah.
So I said, I'm going back to the bar. Mm-hmm. And so I got out of the car at the exit 59. Over there's the gas station with the Dairy Queen.
Yep.
That's where we are. Yep. I close the door. I start walking back towards the Guilford Mooring, and she says something. And whatever she says to me, this is post-concussion. This is pre-concussion. So this was just like an impulsive, like drunk thing. She says it. I went like that.
Yeah.
When I did that,
like a trigger.
Her back window smashed. I was like, damn it. I didn't want to break her back window. I just went like that.
Yeah.
You know, if I was a 6 inches down, I hit metal. 6 inches to the right, I hit the part of the glass that doesn't give as hard. And so anyway, that led me to have to go to like these classes at Long Wharf.
Okay.
So when I knew I had a problem, I called those people because I did so well, and they had like an anger management type thing there.
Yeah.
And I actually like really contributed to the class pretty well, and because no one else would talk in there, you know what I mean? And I would, geez, I love to talk.
Yeah, you're a very social guy.
Very social guy.
Great.
So when I was going through my problem, and my boss said you need help, those are the people I called.
Yeah. Okay.
And they had an open door policy. So I recommend everyone go out there and get arrested. So if you ever need to talk to someone, you can talk to someone for free.
So basically, what you're telling me is that you went to them prior to this little breakdown, and then you said to yourself, that touched me at some point, or it helped me, so I'm going to go back.
I had a good relationship with the people over there, and they had said, hey, if you ever need to come back, you come back. Yeah. And so I went there, and I broke down crying and just was going through everything that was going on. And when I'm talking to this girl, Joanna. She's what you call a psych nurse or something like that. So she's not a therapist. She's not anything. She's just, that's what she is. She's there to talk to me and whatever. Part of protocol is I have to talk to a psychologist or a psychiatrist or one of those guys who makes more money than me. And I'm telling him my problems, and he said, so did you have a concussion in your car accident? Because I was blaming my car accident for my pain. And I'm telling him, stuff that's not normal. Like, I think it's normal, I guess, to have back pain and not sleep, but it's normal to just do all these crazy things that I was doing. And act out the way I was. And
because what happens is this, we play, when there's people that have that or those emotions going on that are negative, you start to sympathize with yourself by saying I'm a victim of something, and that's why it's happening. It's not my fault. It's okay for me to be like this, and you normalize your behavior.
Well, I was going through the opposite. I hated myself. I said I'm cracking up here. I'm losing my mind. I'm only I'm 29 years old, and I'm a loser, and I can't hold a relationship and with anybody, and I'm too angry, and I lose my shit, and
damn, man, I'm very happy for the fact that you were able to see that.
Yeah, I absolutely hated myself.
Now let me ask you this: at this point in your life, now I'm sure you look back at that and you're like, that's probably one of the most profound parts of your life right there.
Never forget it. Just smashing my the dashboard of my boss's truck, just smashing it and smashing it and smashing it and smashing. Because I hate myself that much, and I just envision I'm just hitting myself. That's how crazy it was. And when that guy said to me, "Did you have a concussion?" and I went home and Googled that, the symptoms of post-concussion syndrome, and I'm looking at the 13 symptoms. Check, paranoia, check, rage, check, everything. And I'm just like, it was like, you would think, oh, I have this, it sucks. And it was like, it was so great to know, all right, yeah, you are losing your mind. Yeah, you are an asshole. But you have a brain injury, And it wasn't my first concussion. I had the other car accident in 2011. And then this one. And then sports and who knows what else, and backyard wrestling and whatever the heck. And I've just been hitting the head. Went to too many mosh pits, maybe couple 2-3 chair shots to the head.
So you're probably a big believer that CTE stuff is legit.
Oh, 100,000%. And I'll tell you what's crazy. I go. I'm scheduled for February. I'm really good at dates. February 4th. I'm scheduled to go see these people at the Ford Clinic. That's what it was called at the time. It's called something else. Connecticut Mental Health Center.
Mm-hmm.
And
where was that?
It's one Long Wharf.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay.
So I'm scheduled to see them. I call them up on the 4th. All right, 2 weeks. 2 weeks from the 4th of February would be the 18th. I'm scheduled to see them on the 18th. My birthday is the 16th. I go out with my girlfriend at the time. on the 15th, 16th, 2 or 3 days before I'm set to go to this mental health center. And I hadn't drank because I was having issues and with my moods and stuff. And I said, well, drinking's not helping.
Yeah.
So I had just stopped drinking, and I finally felt good. And I was like, it's my birthday. I'm going to have a couple beers.
Okay.
And so then we go out that night, and then I don't know what happens. And then we go to her cousin's house, and then I get upset because they're making fun of me or whatever stupid reason why I leave. And I leave the room, and then I hear them just like cracking jokes about me and how much he's just weird and just making fun of me or whatever. And I snapped and just kicked the door in. Now I've been drinking, and I feeling a certain way, and I broke some tables. I broke whatever. I think whatever hero boyfriend the cousin had who tried to restrain me, he got tossed. And there was a beam in the middle of the house.
Yeah.
Just a white beam holding the house up. And I took this arm right here, which was already broken and has a metal pipe in it, a piece of metal in it, from when I broke my arm as a kid, and then I had to get surgery when I was 16 years old. So I have this metal thing in my arm, and I just remember I'm going to break my own arm on this beam. And I smashed my arm on this beam until my arm cracked. And this is the middle of February. It was a horrible cold night.
Jeez.
I had thrown my coat. I ripped my shirt off. And then I went out into the cold and just was crying when I was walking to my friend Tim's house.
Yeah.
Tim Capizone. And I played baseball my whole life. And he lived on the 3rd floor on Whitney and Willow. And I'm walking there and it's freezing cold. I've got no shirt on. It's like,
Jeez.
it's like 10 degrees, less than that.
Jeez.
I'm like, all right, he's always up, the lights are on. My arm was so bad, I couldn't throw a rock or anything to get his attention. In the window, I smashed my cell phone.
Oh, man.
And then I'm just like in horrible pain. And then finally, I'm just like, I'm going to freeze to death out here. I'm walking on the streets of Whitney Avenue, and I see cop cars coming. I'm like, thank God, you know?
Yeah.
They picked me up, and they were picking me up because they were looking for me,
Okay.
you know. And but I tell you, I've never been so happy to be arrested because the car was warm.
Yeah,
you know?
I'm sure, man.
But my arm was broken. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And they put the cuffs on so tight, and I was like, oh my God, this hurts.
Yeah.
But
Now, do you think that was your rock bottom?
no.
No.
The concussion thing. So I've been in the car accident late 2014. This is early 2015. By July of 2015, this is when I was doing the Jess and Ian show, the variety show.
Yeah.
And I was running myself into the ground with this concussion thing and with everything going on. And what happened? So July 3rd of that year, 2015, Vinny Beetle has me do Joker's Wild. And my girlfriend at the time is in D.C. And I'm miserable because she's in D.C., but I'm really happy to be doing this comedy show. And so I do the comedy show, and then I freak out on the phone to this girl that night. By Saturday, the 4th of July, I'm just so depressed. She like broke up with me over the phone because I was acting like such a loser. And I remember I like passed out. I don't know what happened. I just like passed out and was like, woke up on the floor. I hadn't been drinking or anything, and just like whatever the hell. I was going through some shit, man.
Yeah.
And then that night, I took a bunch of pills, hoping to not wake up.
What were they, dude? Anything specific?
See, I wish I did drugs at the time, you know, because I didn't have any hardcore shit. Just they were probably freaking Tic Tacs. No, they were like muscle relaxers and shit from.
And you weren't in a inebriated state of mind at all.
Maybe alcohol, but I was just. I hated myself, man. I didn't want to live anymore.
Yeah. That's wild, dude. You know. And listen, I come across a lot of people like that in my career. I come across a lot, so like I feel for you, man. And listen, I really think that a lot of people go through
ex-military people, I'm sure you know.
Oh God, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Because a lot of them are in the police force, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is this, dude. I look at it as, I feel like I say we're all damaged people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We come out of this womb pure. So in reality, it's life that scars you. You gotta just roll with the punches and keep it moving.
Yeah.
But don't sell yourself short. Understand yourself. Understand what's going on, and that's how you get through it. So tell me how you get through this whole thing.
So that weekend ends, horrible weekend, and Monday, I decide to I go to, went to Yale, the ER, and said, I got to come here. You know, I don't want to live anymore. So this is the right thing to do because I don't trust myself. I hadn't slept, and I still didn't for 3 days straight in the hospital. I didn't sleep. You know, that funny thing was Wednesday that week, and I remember looking at the clock. They finally gave me some pill or something. I don't even know what it was. They gave me a pill. It said it was midnight. I looked at the clock, and literally a second later, I wake up. And the nurse, breakfast. And I was like, "You're a liar." I called her a liar because I slept for 8 hours, and it took a second. It was like I fell asleep and woke up. I just thought it was like 15 minutes after I fell asleep.
Yeah.
And I didn't believe her. There's no windows, so I can't
Right.
So there's like no proof of breakfast.
Yeah.
So I'm like really skeptical going to the breakfast table. There's granola bars and you know.
Yep.
I was in that place, YPI, for till the 16th, I think, something like that, 9 or 10 days.
Yeah.
Started sleeping again, and I was just ready to get back to work and stop doing the Jess and Ian show. My mind, dude, in my heart, I wanted to make it. I never, I know, deep down, maybe I'm good enough, you know?
Yeah.
But I always just, talent-wise, there's no question about it.
Yeah.
There's no question about it when I put my mind to something and I want to make a video or write a song that it's just a matter of people seeing it and it's going to be great. Mm-hmm. But I just I didn't love myself enough or whatever the heck. And I just had to slow down and I had to just let whatever was wrong with me, I just had to let that pass. Yeah. I had to slow down. I didn't want to slow down. I didn't want a car accident to stop me. I didn't want anything. Nothing. Yeah. Nobody could stop my drive. The drive was there. There's no problem with my work ethic or my drive. The problem was mental. Mentally, my brain was effed up. I'd been effed up in a couple car accidents, and it made me, an already emotional guy, an already passionate human being. I raised $30,000 for fundraisers in my early 20s. Still thought I was an asshole. Still wouldn't go to my 5-year reunion at Daniel Hand. Yeah. Because I was embarrassed because, I'm just some kid from East Haven who moves to Madison and never went to college. So I never thought I was good enough, even though I'm raising tens of thousands of dollars for these things. And I still didn't think I was good enough. Never was good enough. But just time, man. Time heals all wounds.
Yeah, slowing down is really necessary because, especially now, we live in a fast world.
Yeah,
the world is very fast, and we don't often take time to slow down from that, and that's when you have to really sit there and look at yourself. People don't look at themselves because they're moving so fast. They look at what everybody else is doing, and they tend to try to mimic what they're doing or be like them.
Yeah,
and then they don't even know who they are.
Right.
And knowing who you are is very important. So, and like you kind of did. You knew that you had that passion. You knew that you had talent. But, I'm wondering why you didn't like yourself. What made you not like yourself?
Just, insecurities, man.
Everybody has them.
I joke about it a lot in my comedy about just growing up in East Haven, man. It's a different world. I came from a different background than a lot of guys. You got scumbag Vinny walking around doing this. You got Dave Moons doing that. I didn't even know them at the time, but the point was, like, I was afraid of that. Like, you go to East Haven High and you're gonna get your ass whipped. I didn't know that, like, Ian, you're bigger than everybody else. You got nothing to worry about. Now I know, like, nobody's gonna mess with me because I believe that, like, it was a tough town. East Haven was a tough town, and I came from a soft upbringing where, like, it was soft. Like, I don't want any of that stuff. And I would see go out in public or whatever with my friends, and you'd see these fights happen, and I would turn away. I hated it.
So you weren't a confrontational person.
No.
Like you said, when you wear your heart on your sleeve, people like that are often not bullies. Not, they're lovable people. They like to love.
Yeah. And my brothers were bullied. My brother Brennan with Asperger's was bullied bad. Oh, yeah. Really bad.
Yeah, that's terrible.
And so I just was like, I'm not going to East Haven High.
Yeah.
And
so you moved from East Haven to Guilford?
No, I went to Xavier. Still lived in East Haven until I was 16.
Okay.
And I moved to Madison. I was working in Guilford at the time. But why didn't I love myself? I don't know. I think that at that time when I was talking about, like, committing suicide and stuff, that was the concussion. That was the brain injury. My brain was so bad. Concussion syndrome can last up to 2.5 years. And I got every last second of that 2.5 years.
So you think it just subsided, or how did you get over it?
Well, think about it. I got $10,000 for the first time in my life, saved up. I'm starting to feel good about myself. Physically, I'm untouchable. I can lift people up over my head. And I got a hot girlfriend. I'm going to, it's a good time to be me. Yeah. And then I get into this car accident. And my whole life spirals out of control. My car is totaled. I can't get any money from the insurance. I just paid off the car 6 months prior. So that was 6 months straight of not having to spend $400+ a month. Now I don't even have a car. Now I'm waiting for insurance. I buy a car. The car keeps breaking down. Just life. This is around July. I go into YPI, and then I bounced out of it because that was 2015. Jess, the girl Jess, was in my corner every day. She was there for me every day. Yeah. And we went on a road trip to Tennessee and New Orleans and saw a bunch of cool stuff. Went out and went hiking, and it was just so cool. And then we started doing a radio show that year, end of 2015. And at the end of 2015, I have this idea to do this song called Mo Brady, Mo Gronk, which is, this is going to be the final in the trilogy of Biggie, that whole Bad Boy song thing. And I'm like, wouldn't it be funny if I make this song or whatever of Brady doing Mace's verse and Rob Gronkowski is doing Biggie's verse, and it was really creative. I do the impersonation of Mace and Biggie in the song, and the song gets about 2,500 views. Vinny Penn plays it on his radio station. I'm like, it's just not good enough. So I go through 2016 and man, the years are all screwed up, man, because of the time change. And my dad, I remember the following year, the Patriots are going back to the Super Bowl. And I said, that song is so good, and I'm looking at the lyrics, and nothing really changed. Yeah. The song will still work. Yeah. So I'm going to make a video for it.
Good shit.
So my dad was getting brain surgery. I'm in the hospital on my laptop editing this video. And so it was a stressful time with the family, and I'm still in my concussion syndrome phase. And so it was a very emotional time, and I'm making this thing. And I remember showing my buddy Greco, who worked at Trinity, this song. Watch this video. He watches like the first 10 seconds and he laughs. He goes, man, that's going to be big. So I make the music video, put it out there, and everyone on my Facebook just loves this video. Mo Brady, Mo Gronk, and Jess Genone singing the chorus. My buddy Tim Capizone again produces the song. And it was January 9th. I'm driving home, and my friend Katrina calls me. She goes, Ian, Rob Gronkowski shared your song. I go,
oh, shit.
I said, what are you talking about? She goes, Rob Gronkowski shared your song on his Facebook page.
Oh,
January 9th. He just writes, LOL, too funny. And there it is. My Mo Brady Mo Gronk song is on his Facebook page. Next thing you know, Nesson shares it. Next thing you know, El Prez from Barstool is calling it the song of 2016.
Oh, shit.
And I'm like, yo, this is great. This is me, man.
Yeah.
And I remember I was just like, I want to ride on this, man. I went to Boston, made business cards and start promoting it, handing cards out to everybody, getting as many people to go check it out as possible.
Yeah.
And that's
smart.
That's when the first Patriot song that really blew up got about 100,000 views.
Wow. So now, what comes from getting, like, now you're making these videos, finally you're getting there, you're getting success from them. What do you get out of that? What comes next?
So I go through all of 2016. I'm doing comedy. Vinny Beetle's still the only guy who'll book me because I'm winning. I won a comedy contest in late 2015, and I had barely been doing it. Won a battle of the comics out of 15, and Vinny had me doing all this. Vinny he's
He's great.
always
I gotta
believed in me.
say, that dude
Is a hustler.
He's a hustler, bro, and he's a great talker, and he pushes hard, and I like.
He always believed in me.
Yeah.
And even when I told him I suck, Vinny Beetle always told me, Ian, you're funny, you're great. Just
That's
he
great,
kept
man.
me motivated for a very long time. Like even when, and I try to, Vinny, I have I have a brain injury, Vinny. Do you get it? That like, I just can't, I can't.
He wouldn't let you take that.
I don't think he understood what I was going through. Nobody can
Yeah.
understand. I can't understand your darkest time. That was my darkest time.
Absolutely, I get it. Yep.
So we just kind of had a falling out that year, and I just kept trucking, and then 2016 I was doing I did a lot of comedy in 2016. I wasn't really that good at it in 2016, but I remember I wrote a lot. I did a lot of writing, and I was confident and starting getting better on the stage. And I remember I was driving. This is now we're getting towards the end of 2016, and the idea of my life comes to me while I'm driving on my way to my friend Tim Capazone's house. And I'm about to turn off exit 6 off 91 to go to Willow Street. And then somebody does something, throws a bottle at my car, and I snap. And like, this mother effer, and I'm going to go get him. Oh, no, I'm not. I get off the exit, and the song comes to me. I hated that stupid Chainsmoker song, dude.
Yeah.
So, baby. I thought it was the stupidest song. And then I was like, I'd be watching these young girls that like, really think that this is like some deep, thoughtful song. I'm like, it's not deep.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to make it deep. And I did the Brady Pull Me Closer song.
Yeah.
Made the song. I collaborated with Ian Biggs. And this young girl, 18-year-old Sarah Gonzalez, who was working at Hooters. And I said that like I like to produce these songs or whatever. And so she gave me your contact info. Well, actually, no. She showed me a song she had sang. I was like, wow, phenomenal voice. So when I was going to do this Brady Pull Me Closer song, I needed a female vocalist to do the girl part, the second verse.
Yeah.
And she was down. And so she came and recorded the song. And when that song, dude, when I dropped that song on YouTube, on Facebook, everything changed.
Really?
Fox 61. I remember I went to Maine that winter with my boss to his house up there. Everyone, the radio stations were playing Brady Pull Me Closer all over New England, downtown. Like we were getting phone calls from every radio station in Boston, Springfield, anywhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? New Hampshire, all over New England.
Yeah.
That Pat's Nation shared it. To this day, still has 4.8 million views on their page. There,
Wow.
Our Facebook, our YouTube channel has it. We got over 1 million views on our YouTube channel.
Wow.
Another YouTube channel has it at over 1 million views. Both those videos, all three of those, there's 3 videos that have been taken down off YouTube for stupid crap. I'd never released it on my own YouTube channel, which Vinny probably told you that like I never put my face behind any of this shit, which was stupid.
Yeah.
When I was performing and doing the rapping,
Yeah.
that's when I was the face of it. But then I needed a singer. I needed 2 singers, and I was like, you know what? Sarah's beautiful. Ian's a good friend of mine, and he needs this break.
Yeah, yeah.
So I put Ian's face out there and whatever. Song over 10 million views, man.
That's great. Now, what comes from that? You know, you get any more better opportunities because of that?
Now it's just one of those things where like I'm still kind of getting over the concussion thing.
Yeah.
I'm struggling hard at this point now, money wise.
Really?
So I've got like no money. I'm working paycheck to paycheck,
Okay.
and I can't make ends meet.
What do you do besides the comedy?
I'm waiting for this big check from my 2014 car accident, and this thing takes over 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, lawsuits take forever, dude.
This thing took, I think, 3 years, maybe 3. I don't know how long it took. It took a long time.
Yeah.
But so I'm just trying to make ends meet, and then finally get the check.
Yep.
I write a Conor McGregor song. I write a Gronkowski song. I'm writing, just putting songs out, man.
Okay. So you're constantly still pushing on that end.
Putting parody songs. That's my thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, I'm the
Yeah.
song parody guy. That's my thing.
Yeah,
So I
absolutely.
just keep pushing it.
If that's what's working and that's what is probably your best talent, you need to go hard with that, dude.
Yeah.
You go hard with it. Promote it as much as you can. Are you good with the social media?
Great, dude. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm a TikTok guy.
You know, I just got on TikTok. I didn't have one, and Vinny Beetle was the dude who was like, "You gotta get one." You know, so
Did
I
you
got
get
it.
one?
I did, yeah.
You did?
Yeah, I'm on there.
I got to follow you on there.
We'll chop some
Do
up.
you have a Facebook page, by the way?
There's a For the Love Facebook page. Yes, it's not specific for the podcast. It's just a all around For the Love page.
Right, gotcha.
So I'll get that to you.
Because
I'll
I want to tag it, and I didn't get
Yeah.
to tag it at all.
Yeah, I'll get that to you. I'll tell you, there's so many different platforms on social media. It's almost hard to keep up with all of them. You know what I
YouTube
mean?
should be my bread and butter, man. And it's just I'm like looking at it, man, and between all the videos now I'm doing all the time now, and Chaz and AJ parody songs I've done and videos.
Yeah, so you work for them. What specifics do you do with that?
So real quick, I'll tell you how I got there. Was I'm pumping out these parody songs, and I make the Gronk song, which is the thong song, you know, thong to the Gronk, Gronk.
Yeah.
It's my best video to date. It's just not as popular as Brady Pull Me Closer, and
Yeah.
it got like 650,000 views, and that's a failure now. 650,000 views is a failure to me at this point.
Yeah.
And my girlfriend Angel, who I met, I'm still with. We go to the UFC fight, UFC 220, to watch Daniel Cormier fight. Oh, he was on the co-main, but Stipe Miocic fought Francis Ngannou in Boston. And horrible card, but you know the last 2 fights are really cool, exciting, and some of my favorite fighters.
Yep.
So the next day is Sunday. The Patriots are going to be playing the Jaguars in the championship game. This is 2018. So the season of 2017, 2018 game. I don't know if you remember that game. Gronk gets hurt early in the playoffs. He's out. Edelman has a suspension of some kind or a knee injury. Yeah, the knee. He had a knee injury. And all they have is this guy, Amendola. And I go and I'm watching in this bar, McGreevy's in Boston.
Yeah.
Because I said, you got it. You're not a human. You're not a sports fan until you go watch a Patriots game at McGreevy's or one of these pubs down here.
Yeah.
And it was the only football game I watched all year long, dude. No lie. Because I just stopped. I'm a Jets fan, dude. I just stopped watching it. I stopped caring about it. I stopped punching walls. But we watched this game, and Amendola scores 2 touchdowns.
Yep.
The Patriots come from behind and win.
Yep.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
And on the way home, I said, I got to make a Danny Amendola song.
Oh, shit.
And that's when it comes to me. I'll do, the Hallelujah song. Hallelujah.
Yep.
So the first thing I do when I get home, I already have the song in my head. I said, I should. Who thinks I should do a Danny Amendola song? And everybody was like, you got to do it.
Yeah.
So I wrote that song the next day. Now, keep in mind, this is championship weekend, so I've got 2 weeks to get the song done, man. And I hustled. I got 4 singers. I got Ian on board. He makes a track. I make a video. Drop that song within 5 days of coming up with that idea. And the song explodes. It's Brady Pull Me Closer on steroids.
Really?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
And finally, I'm for the first time ever, I start getting love in Connecticut. And somebody from the Chaz and AJ show hit me up and said they want you on the show.
Great.
So they interviewed me on the phone, and I made them laugh. A bunch of jokes I just kind of shot out.
Yep.
They said, well, we want you to come back after the Super Bowl. And they lost, and I had a bunch of more jokes. So we want you in studio. And so the studio, and then they said, well, we want you to write a parody song for us. Yep. And then they had the listeners called in, the tribe, with five ideas to put into one song. I ended up writing a song for each idea. Oh, wow. Separate thing. So that just goes to show how I think, how I work. Dude, I didn't even know the Chaz and AJ show. I had to go and listen. I asked my girlfriend, dude, I just locked myself in my office every night and listen to podcast after podcast after podcast. They'd have a podcast of their show every day, and I just listened to hours and hours of their podcast, just to get familiar. So I could write these songs. And so now, when I found an opportunity to do the court audio, which they do every Monday, I hit up Chaz with an idea I had for one of the songs I'd written. I didn't get to send to them. I said, I still have the song. Your 2-year anniversary of this specific interview's coming up. He said, oh, yeah, that's a great idea. And by the way, our big food drive's coming up. And they raised $146,000 for this food drive that they do every year around Christmas time. He said, Ian, I need a song written about East Haven to Frank Sinatra song. And then so I write that song, and then some famous comedian performed it live. And then when I saw Chaz after, I said, hey, man, I heard there's an opening for court audio. And starting January this year, every Monday, that's what I do. I go and interview people at the courts. And
that's great.
It's great. It's great, and it's a great platform for me.
Yeah. So what is it a specific court, or do you just go around?
I can go anywhere, but because I'm familiar with the New Haven one, I know where to park and stuff. You can't go to a small court. You got to go to a big court.
Yeah, there's got to be a lot going on. That's where you get the best material, no?
Yeah, and it's just I haven't made it out to Waterbury or Hartford yet.
They don't break balls having like you doing that.
No, they know who I am now. They're just everyone likes me over there. I know I run into Big Steve. I think I've been in 4 car accidents, so like my lawyers who take care of that are there. Everyone knows. I know everybody.
You're there anyways. Fuck it.
I do work for half the judges in there. Like, I made your patio. You know.
Yeah. Now all the courts are closed because of this whole like Corona thing going on. And so now is that gonna screw you up?
So I went Monday right after. So I did a phone interview with them Monday, and we didn't even talk about court. We had court audio ready to go, but they ended up talking to me about the coronavirus, and I started bitching and complaining about there not being any masks. Yeah. I don't know if you saw my video today.
No, I didn't.
I smashed something up, and I don't wear a mask. Anyway, so it just sucks.
I did see that.
There's no masks.
You were hitting a wall with something.
Yeah, I was hitting a fireplace.
Yes.
And so I went to the court that day, and they're only doing arraignments. So anyone who gets arrested still has to go to court. Right. And then all the morons, they're not morons. What else are they going to do? All the people who were supposed to go to court Monday end up going anyway. It was actually easier to get interviews because they walk in and walk right out. So they're in a good mood that they don't got to go to court.
Right.
Or they're pissed because they just want to get it over with. Right. And now they got to come back in April or whatever. Yeah. And who do they talk to about it? I'm here to listen. Yeah, that's great. So when they're ready to vent, that's when I catch them. Yeah. I'm like putting the bait out. Yeah. And they lock eyes with me once.
Now, do they go hard on some of them, like some of these people?
Police chase Mike. Yeah. I
didn't hear that one.
Police chase Mike. He stole a car. No. He had something on him, a gun, I think. Yeah. Okay. He doesn't admit that, but I kind of did the math after the fact. Yeah. He gets pulled over. And then he pulls off on the cop. Yeah. And this big police chase out of Hamden. He's going over sidewalks and stuff. One Hamden cop crashes into a building. Like, it was crazy. This was like from 4 years ago. Yeah. So he's telling me this story. He escapes, but then somebody rats him out about the gun, and then one of the cops ended up knowing him or whatever. But the point is, I get some crazy stories.
Yeah, I'm sure. Believe me, I see it all too.
That's
right.
I
know what you're talking about. I'm on the other end. I see that shit.
Do you remember the guy who jumped in the Quinnipiac River?
We get that all the time. So which one?
Are you now? Where do you work in New Haven?
Yeah.
So a guy in this year, January, is running from the cops. He goes to his girlfriend's house. She says, "Come over." She's got a restraining order on him. Tells him to come over. Yeah. He comes over. They get into another fight. He says, "I got to get out of here." Yeah. Cops are driving by, see him. He splits, jumps into the Quinnipiac River. I'm going to escape, he says. Well, rivers flow, and he's like, I can't swim. So now he's got to follow in this cold water. He's got to follow the current down.
Yeah.
At this point, the cops are already just waiting at the other end of the river, just waiting for him to flow down into him.
Yeah.
So I had that guy.
I wasn't working with that, but that happens all the time. We get people in there all the time, dude.
They just jump in the river?
I don't know. Like sometimes they're just, they could be on drugs or whatever, and if you're people on PCP do crazy shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you never know.
What is that?
PCP is basically like embalming fluid.
I don't even know what that
marijuana.
is.
Embalming fluid is what they
put on bodies?
Yeah, they put in dead bodies, and people are smoking like it's soaked in like marijuana or something, I believe, and it just like makes them to go nuts, dude. They'll get butt naked.
Wow.
Do crazy shit. Yeah. Wild.
A couple Ativans, maybe some Advil. That's about the only.
That's what they need. Yeah. No, but yeah, that shit's wild. But so what's your plans? I mean, listen, dude. Like, I feel this is my first time even meeting you. I feel like right now, I feel you're in a good place right now.
Great place right now. Yeah. I
awesome.
feel unstoppable. I love myself. I got into another car accident in January.
What the hell,
dude? The fourth one. And so,
damn.
St. Patrick's Day 2017, I got into another one. I didn't get a concussion in that one. I just got another concussion now, right? So I'm all freaking out. I'm going to have post-concussion symptoms.
Yeah.
And I had concussion symptoms for about a month. And they've subsided.
Okay, good.
I'm not having any crazy thoughts or anything like that. It was I don't know. I'm in a good place right now, man.
Great, dude. I want to keep you there.
Keep me there.
Yeah. I want you to keep going down that good place road.
Once you get to a certain point in your life, you're always climbing. Even when you're losing, you're climbing because you're learning. And even if you don't know, you're learning. So now where I'm at now, I'm in such a good place now, a mental place now where I wasn't at when I had the concussion symptom.
Absolutely. Yeah.
If I had the concussion symptom now, I would know what I'm going through. I already know what my worth is.
Yes.
So nobody can take anything away from me now. Not trying to be cocky, but I know I'm the best
feeling.
At certain things.
It's a great feeling to know that you're more in control of your mind.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. Because people don't understand, like they look back at their past. We don't want to live in our past, but you have to understand your past. So what he basically did was he understood that he went through a dark time, what happened during that dark time, and how he felt during it. And now, in his future, he's able to understand, okay, I don't ever want to be that ever again. So this is how I'm going to feel every day, and I got to work to stay that way.
Yeah.
Exactly
I have these nights where, man, like last night something happened. I was just like, man, I hate myself tonight. But I can hate myself for a night. You know what I mean? That's fine.
Happens. We all have bad days, dude.
I just don't like myself today. And that's cool. But I know I'll be better tomorrow.
Right.
I'm gonna wake up.
Fact is you got to look at every day as a new day, a day where you embrace the unknown. You say to yourself, I don't know what's gonna happen today, and it's fine. That's okay. It's okay because good things can happen. If you're constantly thinking bad things are gonna happen, bad things are gonna happen.
Dude, that's exactly true. And the darkest time you said, is that the darkest time? I said no, July was. There, I compared it to stairs. Being knocked downstairs and hitting the bottom of the staircase and saying, this is my rock bottom, and the floor giving out.
Yeah.
And you go into this dark chute, and I'm like, where am I going to land? And then the car, my cousin's comes in, and I let him borrow my car, and the car breaks, and so that's another chute. I kept thinking I hit rock bottom, and then finally I hit rock bottom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When I said I'm going to take a bunch of pills and end it.
Yeah.
That's when that was real rock bottom.
Right.
But I do remember how I climbed out of it was like, negative thinking is a habit. Smoking is a habit. If you say, oh, this sucks. Oh, nothing good ever happens to me. Oh, of course I wouldn't win. Oh, of course this car would pull out now while I'm trying to go to work.
Yep.
As if the world really revolves around you like that. Like, positive thinking. These car accidents, man, you can dedicate 1,000 episodes and I can tell you how each car accident, the negative shit that happened to me, and if it wasn't for that car accident, one chain event or another, I wouldn't be where I am now. Like I said, I had $10,000 in the bank, body of steel, and I'm working and I'm building and I'm like construction guy now, and I had only just got into it for a couple years and I loved it. But I always had these other passions and ideas and never just had the confidence to do it.
Yeah.
Well, getting knocked on my ass, a broken arm that I created myself, dude. I joined an improv class because I couldn't work. You know, now 2 weeks later, I'm in a cast. I'm shoveling snow at my feet. Like, I'm still. You can't stop. You can't keep me down. But the point is, like, I joined an improv class. Like I told you, that first car accident, I put that money into going to Connecticut School of Broadcasting, which led me to doing music, whatever the heck.
Yeah.
The 2017 car accident, who knows where that led me and why. But and this one now, I don't even know. But everything, man. It's
Embrace
just how do you it's not as simple as just, oh, you get knocked down, you get back up. It's, you know, it's
there's substance to failure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And people don't want to understand that. They just look at failure as negative and bad, and why me, and I'm the victim, and all these things. You have to look at it and say, what can I learn from this failure? What happened? Why did this happen? You have to answer these questions. People don't want to answer these questions. They run from them. If you run from them, you're constantly... Listen, this is how the world works. The world's going to constantly keep putting those same predicaments in your life over and over and over. And it wants you to handle it right.
Yes, it wants you to handle it is right.
You know?
And I'll tell you how I know. And if you're watching this right now, I want you to try this, okay? Instead of saying, all right, I'm so talented at this, I've worked so hard at that, I've donated, like, I'm talking about my own self here. I donated all this money to charity, I'm a good person, like, just give me that break. Give me that job that I always wanted. Like, instead of just saying, I deserve it, you need to stop thinking that you deserve anything, and just have to, like, because that's what I was going through. I was like, man, look at all this bad luck, like, and look at all these good things I've done in the past, karma, whatever you want to say. But it was me holding on to the fact that, like, just, oh, I'm gonna get lucky finally, and it's like, no, you just have to just keep focused on what it is that you love, and don't expect anything. The second I stopped expecting a handout, the second I stopped expecting someone to say, wow, Ian, look how talented you are, why don't you work with us at this radio station? No. I'm going to make my own videos. I'm going to put it on my own platforms. And if you don't want me, I'll make you have to want me. I'll make myself undeniable. And that's how you beat the bullshit. That's how you get above the bullshit, the bad luck. Is just, you just say, I'm not going to stop. You're not going to stop me. Nobody can stop me. And guess what? I'm not going to get lucky. I'm not going to get a handout. I'm not going to get anything. I'm going to create, manifest, like Vinny said.
Absolutely.
I'm going to manifest it myself.
Yep.
If you're not going to give it to me, I'm going to take it.
Yes.
And like Vinny was saying, it's so powerful.
It's possible.
I manifested everything I wanted.
Yep.
No, that's a lie. I manifested very little of what I wanted, but I'm still in the process of grabbing what I want. Right. And I'm going to get it.
Right. Yeah. You listen, you can manifest for the rest of your life. Just never stop doing it. Yeah. Because people think it's impossible and it doesn't exist. This is what all people that get what they want in their life do. They think it's possible. But you said something in that whole speech that you gave that really it sums it all up. You said, do what you love. You know, like
yeah.
That's the whole point. Don't get away from that. And that was something for even me. Like, I realized when, like, I was putting too much effort into something I didn't love and getting little in return, I didn't feel right.
Yeah.
You know?
Right before we started this podcast, you had said something. We were talking about this. And I said, I got a theory on that. Mm-hmm. And the theory is, and I was in this box too. We talk about, like, oh, you think outside the box. We all are thinking in this box. We don't know how strong our brains are, how powerful our brains are.
Yeah.
Jeez, and when you realize my passion, your passion, whatever the hell it was, when it clicks, like, holy crap, I don't know everything about politics. Holy crap, I don't know everything about comedy. I don't know anything about anything. I'm like, there's so much out there. There's so much in here, and we're so powerful. We're more powerful than we really ever know. Yeah. And certainly what we know in our teens, in our 20s, and for me into my 30s. Mm-hmm. And I realized, wow, I don't know anything. And it was on a quest to learn everything. I'll never learn everything, but just knowing that I don't know everything. And people live in that box. And that box they get from TV that kind of helps mold that box.
Yeah.
People think I have to be a victim. That's the only way to get ahead is to be a victim, or I, whatever. I need a crutch. But when you realize that your brain power is infinite and that you control your destiny, and it's just the sky's the limit, whatever cliche you want to put there, like
It's all true though.
when you start to gather that like feeling in your head and brain, and it just does wonders for you.
Crazy. It's a crazy feeling.
And that's why I'm not worried about suicide anymore.
Yeah.
Because I've realized,
You know what you're living for.
yeah, and I realize I might not ever find it, but I know that the journey.
You know what you're chasing, and
Yeah.
I think in the past you didn't really know. Like you knew, but you had so many other thoughts, negativity thoughts, and all these things that you didn't know really how to chase it. It wasn't a clear path for you. Now you're on a clear
Well,
path.
life tells you this is the path. They show you the path.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
but like, how come like I want to go this way?
And they make you feel like it's wrong to do that.
I always thought it was funny that like my whole life I was told you got to go to college. You got to go to college. I went to college for like a semester in Gateway and I failed.
Yeah, same here.
I was an asshole. You know what I mean? And now when I'm watching political debates, it's like I hear people saying, "Well, all these lazy white kids, these white privileged college kids." I'm like, well, you told me I was a loser if I didn't go to college.
Right.
And now you're calling me lazy. Not me, but now you're calling me lazy because I went to college and don't want to work. Well, I do work, like hard labor. So I know I'm not lazy. But I'm just saying, like there's two different things going on. Yeah. And I'm talking as a white male, and black males have the same thing that they got to battle. They got to be gangster, and they got to sag their pants a certain way and act tough, or else they're going to be made fun of and be bullied.
All these things. Yeah.
But meanwhile, like then they have to blend into society to get ahead, and it's like they're getting told two different things. And I think, and it's the same. Everybody kind of goes through that, but society tells you one thing, and like sometimes your heart tells you another. And I finally decided to follow my heart.
That's the struggle right there that you just said.
Yeah. Is
doing what you think society tells you is right, and then saying, but inside you're feeling not right, man.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the biggest struggle of life right there for most people. And I think what most people need to understand is it's okay to feel like that. It's normal if you have a burning passion inside, or you think you're different or whatever. It's normal to feel that way. Chase after that, because it's the different people that really get what they want in their life. All right, if you want to chase society and you want to just do what everybody else is doing, you're not really yourself.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, but Ian, listen, man, great talk, and I'm gonna say this, man. First time meeting you, very powerful, and I'm very proud of you as a person.
Thank you.
What you went through, where you're at right now, how you feel, and I'm very grateful to see people like you.
Yeah, I appreciate you giving me my chance to tell that story for the first time. Some people have heard that story, obviously, friends and family, very close friends and family. I've never talked about it.
Yeah. Well, you know what?
On a forum like this.
Absolutely.
So, thank you.
And my pleasure, man. I think it's very important for people to hear, because my thing is this: I know there's a lot of people out there that feel the same way as you, man.
Yeah.
And you know that.
And I'd love for them to reach out to me, because I think I can make a difference in somebody's life. I really do.
That's what it's all about, and that's why we're here doing this. Well, Ian, thank you for having some time to come out here and talk with me. We'll have you on again, man. This is
we could talk about lizard people.
Yeah, we'll talk. Yeah, to the conspiracies, and that's good you said that, because next week I got my buddy Mike coming on, and he is all into that conspiracy stuff. He's deep into it. So perfect timing with this coronavirus thing and everything going on. There's some crazy shit we're gonna talk about. So look into that. So check us out on Spotify, YouTube, Buzzsprout, SoundCloud. There's so many places, man. Just check us out. Listen to this podcast. Anybody that wants to come on, do what Ian did. Reach out.
Hit him up. Jay
right.
Bandy.
That's what it's all about.
Just message him.
Yeah, man.
And you can follow me on social media platforms. I'm at Big ENC, everything. The at symbol, BIGIANC. And go listen to my Hall of Famers episode on Scumtown with Vinny Beetle.
Yeah, Vinny Beetle.
Go find it. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Jay.
Don't Don't ever let somebody tell you you can't do something. You got a dream, you gotta protect it. You want something, go get it.